Married for years, my mother-in-law constantly pressured me to have children. I finally got pregnant, only to be met with Marcus's disgusted face. Grace, get rid of it. I hate children. With nowhere else to turn, I had no choice but to schedule an abortion procedure. But on the day of the procedure, at the entrance of the hospital's pediatrics department, I saw Marcus. Ms. Grace, you need to rest more lately. Don't overdo it. The doctor rambled on with his instructions, but I didn't hear a word. All I could think of right now was my husband, Marcus. Just before I went into the operating room, I saw him, worried about his health. I sent a text message, but he never replied. Without waiting for the doctor to finish, I left. As I left the examination and was about to call Marcus, I saw him holding a little boy. His face etched with worry. Marcus. My voice was too soft in the noisy hospital. He didn't hear it at all. Helpless, I could only follow. Leo's dad. You're being so irresponsible. Leo is this sick, and you're only just showing up now. Don't you care about your child? The doctor lectured Marcus while beginning to examine the child. The beautiful woman sitting on the chair had a worried expression, her eyes welling up with tears. Marcus seemed to sense her emotions and pulled her into his embrace. Don't worry, Tiffany, Leo will be fine. As I looked at the scene before me, my eyes were filled with confusion. Leo's dad. What was Marcus's relationship with that woman? As I pondered, a gentle voice came through. Excuse me, please move aside. We need to get the child examined. Hearing the voice, I came to my senses and struggled to move my body. Grace. A familiar voice exploded in my ear, and I slowly lifted my head. Ma, Marcus. Hearing my voice, a flicker of panic crossed Marcus's face, but he quickly composed himself. He handed the child in his arms to Tiffany. Tiffany, take Leo for the examination first. Tiffany carefully took the child, giving Marcus a deep look before leaving. I loved Marcus deeply. How could I not see the profound love in Tiffany's gaze when she looked at him just now? Marcus and I sat in the hospital hallway, engulfed in silence. Is that your client? Leo is my son. Our voices rang out simultaneously. My face was filled with disbelief, my voice trembling slightly. You? What did you say? He's your son? Marcus nodded solemnly. It was only then that I realized he didn't dislike children. He just disliked having children with me. After a long silence, Marcus seemed to sense my emotions and pulled me into his embrace. Grace, you'll always be my wife. As for Tiffany, she won't threaten your position. Tiffany will take care of Leo from now on. It won't affect our time together. Hearing's words, a wave of nausea washed over me, and I used every ounce of strength I had left to push him away. Marcus, you truly disgust me. He had a child with another woman, yet he could make such promises right in front of me. Was I supposed to pretend I didn't know and just spend the rest of my life with him? No, I refused. Marcus, let's get a divorce. Hearing my voice, panic flooded Marcus's face. No, Grace, I won't agree to a divorce. Leo was just an accident. If you're worried, I'll have Tiffany take him abroad. I pushed Marcus's hand off my arm. Marcus, you cheated on me. How can you possibly think our relationship can ever be the same? Let's part amicably. Tomorrow, I'll meet you at the county's office. After saying that, I left the hospital, dragging my heavy body. For a moment, I didn't know where to go. Just then, my phone suddenly rang. It was Eleanor's call. Grace, tomorrow is Mom's birthday. Come back early. Mom has a surprise for you. Hearing's voice, I finally couldn't hold back and started to sob. She heard that my voice sounded off, and her tone was filled with concern. Grace, what's wrong? Did that jerk Marcus bully you? Where are you? Mom will come pick you up. Hearing offer to come, I quickly controlled my emotions. She was so good to me. I didn't want her to worry about these things, so I said no. Mom, I'm just feeling a bit emotional. Marcus and I have been married for years now. All right. If bullies you, just tell me, and I'll deal with him properly. After exchanging a few more words with Eleanor, I returned home. As soon as I got home, I saw Marcus and Tiffany sitting by the dining table, feeding Leo medicine. Hearing a sound at the door, both of their gazes turned towards me simultaneously. The sight of the three of them, cozy and harmonious, was truly an eyesore. Seeing me return, Marcus quickly put down the bowl in his hand and walked towards me. Grace, I'm glad you've come to your senses. I ignored him, my gaze fixed on Tiffany. Tiffany met my gaze, a hint of provocation flashing in her eyes. Her expression seemed to say, so what if you're the wife? You can't even have a child. Seeing's expression, my heart filled with rage, and I rushed towards her, taking huge strides. Tiffany clearly felt my anger. Yet there wasn't a trace of fear in her eyes. Instead, they were filled with mockery. She leaned closer to me and whispered, "Sister, no wonder Marcus didn't want to have children with you, with your genes. It's simply an insult to the Hayes family." After saying that, Tiffany's voice rose a few pitches. "Ms. Grace, Leo's illness is too serious." "I really am." Tiffany hadn't finished her sentence when I raised my hand and slapped her. "Get out." Tiffany seemed to have anticipated my action, and her face held an expression of triumph. However, her emotions shifted incredibly quickly. Her previously provocative eyes now looked playing the victim, and her eyes reddened, large tears welling up. "Sister, I just wanted Leo to experience some paternal love. Since you can't tolerate us, we'll leave now." After saying that, Tiffany struggled to pick up Leo, who was beside her, and walked towards the door. I couldn't tell if Tiffany was genuinely weak or if she was doing it on purpose. She had only taken a few steps before stumbling to the ground, and Leo was thrown from her arms. Instantly, Leo's wails filled the entire room. "It hurts. It hurts so much. I don't want to leave. This is Dad's home. I'm not leaving." Seeing in that state, Marcus's eyes filled with heartache, and he looked at me with a pleading gaze. "Grace, Leo is truly unwell this time. Please let him stay." Tiffany, who was nearby, also chimed in to agree. "Sister, I know you don't like me, but Leo is innocent. If you mind, I'll leave right now and let Leo stay, okay? Please. Sister, please." Tiffany bumped her head heavily on the ground. Leo's cries grew louder beside her, taking advantage of the moment. Tiffany looked at Leo with playing the victim eyes. "Leo, quickly beg your auntie." Just as Leo was about to move, Marcus's scolding voice rang out. "What's all this fuss about? Making a child beg you? Grace, you have some nerve. I bought this house. I have the final say. Today, both Leo and Tiffany will stay. They won't leave until Leo's illness is gone. All right? Now, hurry up and take care of Leo." Hearing's words, a hint of triumph flashed in Tiffany's eyes, and she quickly got up from the floor, carrying Leo back to the dining table. Watching them leave, Marcus's gaze also fell on me. "Grace, I told you, Tiffany and I were an accident. If you hate me, take it out on me. There's no need to target a child. Doing this is truly petty." After lecturing me, Marcus went over to tend to Leo. I stood frozen, my heart wrenching. This was the husband I had loved for years. For the sake of the other woman, he actually spoke to me with such harshness. What did all those years of my feelings even count for? With a helpless gaze, I looked at the scene I couldn't be a part of, and packed my luggage. "Tomorrow, after Mom's birthday, we're getting a divorce." Marcus didn't answer my words, only gazed adoringly at Leo. He showed no reaction, but the excitement on Tiffany's face was clear for me to see. All her goals had been achieved. I dragged my luggage to the hotel. Sleepless throughout the night, watching the time draw closer, I got myself ready and headed to the hotel's private room with the gift for Eleanor. When saw me, her face was beaming with a bright smile. "Grace, you're finally here. Mom, happy birthday." Good. Come in quickly. Mom wants to introduce you to someone." Eleanor pulled me in by the hand. The moment I stepped inside, I saw Tiffany sitting at the dining table, smiling and chatting and laughing comfortably with the relatives nearby. "Grace, this is Tiffany. She's Marcus's childhood sweetheart. She just got back from overseas." Hearing's voice, Tiffany immediately walked up, pushed me aside, and linked arms with Eleanor. "Eleanor, happy birthday. This is the gift I got you." Tiffany made a slight movement, and a gold chain appeared before Eleanor's eyes. "Isn't this the necklace I've always wanted? Tiffany, I truly haven't spoiled you for nothing. Come on, put it on me. Let me see." Just as Tiffany was about to put the necklace on Eleanor, I stopped her. "Grace, what's wrong?" Eleanor's tone was filled with confusion, and she looked at Tiffany with a puzzled expression. Tiffany shook her head innocently, indicating she had no idea either. "Sister, today is Eleanor's birthday. You can't possibly." Tiffany hadn't finished her sentence when I directly grabbed her by the neck. "Tell me, where did you get this necklace? Speak. Tell me now." A clatter of sounds echoed in the private room, and the relatives present all wore stunned expressions. They had never seen me so angry before and were momentarily frozen in place. "Are you mute? Why aren't you answering my question?" As I spoke, the grip of my hand tightened further. Tiffany's previously rosy face instantly turned purplish blue. Eleanor, seeing that the situation was dire, quickly spoke up. "Grace, What's gotten into you? Is there something bothering you? Tell us, but first, let go of Tiffany. I listened to Eleanor's words and began to loosen my grip on Tiffany. The moment I released her, Tiffany collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. Eleanor was also by her side, helping her to catch her breath. When she finally recovered, she slowly began to speak. Sister, this is the birthday gift I bought for Eleanor, so of course I bought it. Tiffany emphasized the words birthday gift. At this point, the relatives in the private room finally reacted. Feng Mai, your daughter-in-law, it's a complicated story. Exactly. She's ruined your special day. When married that woman, I disagreed. How can a child from a single-parent household compare to a sensible and mature Tiffany? You insisted on marrying her. See? Now it has backfired. Serves you right. The relative's sarcastic remarks couldn't hurt me at all. My gaze was fixed firmly on Tiffany. Tiffany, tell me the truth. Where did that necklace come from? Hearing my voice, Tiffany's body trembled uncontrollably. Just as she was about to speak, a booming voice rang out. I gave Tiffany that necklace. It was Marcus who spoke. With Leo by his side, as soon as Leo entered the private room, he ran straight to Tiffany, his rosy little face full of worry. Mommy, are you okay? Bad woman, you bad woman. Leo's tiny fists repeatedly struck my abdomen, a wave of pain assaulting my mind. My face instantly turned pale, and cold sweat beaded on my forehead. I had just had an abortion procedure yesterday and hadn't fully recovered. How could I withstand such an impact? I forced myself to endure the discomfort and stepped back a few paces. Leo didn't expect me to step back, and due to inertia, he fell directly to the ground. His palms scraped red. Eleanor, seeing Leo, her eyes filled with heartache. Sweetheart, did you get hurt when you fell? Grandma, this bad woman bullied Mommy and me. Please punish her. Hearing's voice, an incredulous look flashed in my eyes. Grandma? They knew each other? However, Henry's next action confirmed my suspicion. Good boy, sweetheart. It doesn't hurt. Grandpa will blow on it. Watching the intimate way they interacted, it was clear they weren't meeting for the first time. Could it be that Marcus having a child was something his parents already knew about? Dad, Mom, you. Before I could finish my sentence, Eleanor interrupted me. Grace, let's talk about this at home. It was her birthday today, and they had completely lost face. If they continued to sort things out in front of the relatives, they'd be completely disgraced. After saw all the relatives off, she took us back home. Marcus, kneel. Marcus understood Eleanor's meaning and immediately knelt on the ground. Leo, who was nearby, saw Marcus kneel and quickly tugged on Grandma's sleeve, whining, Grandma, it's so cold down there. Please let Dad get up. Eleanor looked at Leo begging for Marcus and stroked his head. Leo, be good. Dad made a mistake. He can get up after he atones for it. After saying that, Eleanor's gaze fell on Tiffany, and Tiffany also knelt down, within Tiffany already kneeling. She glanced at Henry, and both of them bowed deeply in my direction. Grace, it's our Hayes family's fault for lax upbringing, for producing such a scoundrel as Marcus. Our family has truly wronged you. It's hard to stay angry at people who are so apologetic. What's more, with Henry and Eleanor showing such sincerity, I naturally found it hard to say anything further. What's done is done. Apologies won't change anything. Anyway, Marcus and I are getting a divorce. Eleanor's voice rose a few pitches when she heard we were getting a divorce. What? You're divorcing Marcus? Grace, you and Marcus have been married for years. It would be such a shame to divorce. Besides, what happened between him and Tiffany was just an accident. If you're worried about Leo, then we'll raise him, and you and Marcus can still have children in the future. Leo really won't be an issue. Hearing's words, it felt as though I was truly understanding her for the first time. How could she lie through her teeth like that? Her son was the one who cheated. Why should I forgive him? Why did everything she say imply that I was being narrow-minded, unable to tolerate that child? Was she truly doing this for my sake? It was at this moment that I felt I truly knew Eleanor. Mom. No, Marcus and I are getting a divorce. I can't call you that anymore. Eleanor, Marcus cheated. If I divorce him, it just makes room for Tiffany. What's so bad about that? What's more, the child Marcus and I were going to have has already been killed by him. Hearing my voice, Marcus's face was filled with confusion. How could that be? I had no idea about this. Hearing's denial, my heart went cold. So he never once cared about my pregnancy. Fine. Just fine. This was the man I had loved for so many years. He didn't even care about something so important. But now, It no longer mattered, none of that matters anymore. Marcus, listen carefully. I want a divorce. Immediately, right now. A divorce. You cheated first. So you'll leave with nothing in the divorce settlement. The moment Eleanor heard Marcus was to leave with nothing in the divorce settlement, she instantly panicked. Grace, Marcus truly knows he was wrong. There's no need for you to make such a fuss. That's right, Grace. As long as you don't divorce him, anything is possible. Anything is possible, you say? Then let her child go down and keep mine company. I cast a cold glance at Leo, and Henry immediately shielded him. Their choice was obvious. What was I still dragging my feet for? Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'll see you at the county's office. After saying that, I walked over to Eleanor, snatched the necklace from her neck, leaving a bloody red mark. How dare you touch my mother's heirloom? Marcus, watch my things carefully. If I find even one item missing, you, and all of you, can expect a legal notice. As soon as I left the house, I heard crashing sounds from inside, along with Eleanor's furious cursing. I didn't even want the house anymore. What was the point of having any of those things? After leaving Eleanor's place, I returned to the hotel. As soon as I returned to the hotel, Marcus's call came in. I didn't answer. A moment later, his text message came again. A long-winded essay of repentance, utterly devoid of emotion, clearly copied. Did he really think I was a fool who couldn't see through him? After giving Marcus a thorough dressing down, I rested. But the faint ache in my lower abdomen kept reminding me that letting Marcus off like this was too easy. But I, Grace, wasn't someone who couldn't let go once I'd made up my mind. I decided to just part amicably, but I hadn't expected that Marcus and his mother wouldn't see it that way. Late at night, I tossed and turned sleeplessly in the hotel. Suddenly, I heard the sound of the room door, and my entire being went on high alert. Just as I was about to act, a familiar voice drifted over. Mom, if we do this, we're cornering Grace. Cornering her for what? Didn't she want to divorce you first? Originally, my birthday was going perfectly fine. It wouldn't have been hard to get Grace to accept Leo, who knew you brainless idiot, would expose everything. Now is determined to make you leave with nothing in the divorce settlement. Can you really handle that? How can the Hayes family's assets fall into the hands of an outsider? Eleanor's lecturing voice echoed in my ears, and my back was drenched in cold sweat. Married for years, I had never known Eleanor to be so ruthless. Marcus was hit hard by Eleanor's words and stopped refusing for a moment. What are you waiting for? Get the person inside, quickly. When the time comes, you'll just frame Grace for infidelity, and won't the money be saved? What's more, won't Grace's assets she brought into the marriage all be ours? With those assets, our Hayes family can reach another level of prosperity. Marcus, brainwashed by Eleanor, hurriedly brought the person in. I felt the bed beside me sink, and heavy breathing filled my ears. That's enough. We'll come back in half an hour, as long as we blow this whole thing up. Grace is too thin-skinned. Our plan will be no problem. After and his mother made a few more preparations, they left. Once they were gone, I opened my eyes. Unbeknownst to me, my eyes had welled up with tears, which now streamed down my cheeks. I had still hoped to part amicably with Marcus, but he had already begun to scheme against me. What kind of monster had I fallen for? But I also knew this wasn't the time for sadness, since dared to scheme against me. I had no reason to dwell on past affections. I took out my phone and dialed a call I hadn't made in a long time. As soon as the call connected, a voice that was serious yet excited came through. You little brat, you still remember your dad. Hearing my father's voice, the tears I had suppressed burst forth again. My father also sensed that something was wrong with me, and his tone became anxious. Sweetheart, what's wrong? Did bully you? Tell, and Dad will bring people to destroy his family's legacy. I knew this was my father's way of cheering me up, so I chuckled. Hearing me laugh, my father also let out a long breath of relief. I told my father everything Marcus had done. My father slammed his hand on the table, his words filled with rage. That scumbag. I never liked him from the start, and sure enough, he's a piece of trash. This is truly, sweetheart, don't be afraid. Ethan happens to be on a business trip near you. I'll have him go help you first. I'll be there first thing tomorrow morning. After instructing me, my father immediately hung up the call, knowing my father had made arrangements. The worry in my heart finally eased. Just then, the man who had been lying on my bed also woke up. His eyes were filled with confusion, but the moment he saw me, a flicker of greed appeared in his eyes. Hello, beautiful. Our meeting is destiny. Fate is giving us a chance. The man spoke as he got out of bed, but as he stepped off, his legs buckled slightly, and he almost fell to his knees. Well, beautiful, I didn't expect you'd be into this kind of thing. He showed no suspicion at all. Instead, his expression grew even more excited. Since you like it, then I'll just go along with it. He propped himself up and suddenly lunged towards me. Watching his movements, my face was filled with horror, and I kept backing away. Don't come any closer. I just love you like this, my little firecracker. Just then, a loud knocking suddenly sounded from outside. Hearing the knocking, the man's face showed an impatient expression. Knock, knock, knock. What's the rush? Waiting to be reborn? Hold on, babe. Let me deal with whoever's out there. Then I'll be right back for you. The man walked towards the door before he even had a chance to open it. It swung inward. Just as he was about to unleash a verbal assault, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest and was kicked flying to the side, landing like a pile of rags. Grace, are you okay? Ethan's face was filled with urgency as he hurried towards me. The moment I saw Ethan, the tension that had gripped me finally released. Ethan, you're finally here. Ethan also saw that I wasn't all right, quickly steadied me, and gently patted my back. Grace, it's okay now. It's okay. Once I was stable, Ethan quietly whispered his plan to me. Grace, if you're okay with it, this is what we'll do. I nodded. I trust you with this. Just do as you say. After arranged everything, he took me to another room. Rest here for a bit. We have a tough fight ahead of us. I understood Ethan's meaning and closed my eyes. Thankfully, Ethan was clever enough to bring Tiffany along. That would make the process of making Marcus leave with nothing in the divorce settlement even smoother. After I had been lying down for about 10 minutes, a pounding on the door began. Grace, I finally found you. Open the door. Daughter-in-law, hurry and open the door. That designer bag you like has already been bought. Don't be upset anymore. Marcus and his mother's echoing voices, working in tandem, resonated throughout the hotel hallway, startling the guests in their rooms. They all peered out, curious about the commotion. This kind of domestic drama was their favorite. Eleanor watched as more and more people gathered, an irrepressible excitement in her eyes. Daughter-in-law, please open the door. Your husband truly knows he was wrong. After they yelled for a while, there was still no response from inside the room. They exchanged glances, then looked at a staff member with pleading eyes. Though the staff member was clearly hesitant, Marcus's claims seemed truthful, and the hotel didn't want trouble, so he reluctantly opened the room door. The moment the door opened, an indescribable odor wafted out. At this point, Marcus's face also turned ugly. Grace, just because I didn't buy you a designer bag, you cheated on me. What did you do with our relationship? As he spoke, his voice was laced with a whimper, giving off an air of needing sympathy. Grace, say something. Speak. Marcus's hysterical voice woke up the two people on the bed. Tiffany slowly came to, her face showing a blank expression, especially when she saw Marcus standing there, her face filled with confusion. Marcus, what are you doing here? Hearing that voice, Marcus got a clear look at the person on the bed. The moment he saw it was Tiffany. A surge of rage rushed to his head, his face contorted with fury, and he strode towards the bed in a few swift steps. Marcus grabbed Tiffany and pulled her up. Bitch! You bitch! How dare you make me cheated on? Marcus continued to curse and punch and kick Tiffany. In an instant, Tiffany's exposed skin was covered in bruises. Her once delicate face swelled up into a ball. Eleanor, standing by the door, heard Marcus's furious shouts and quickly rushed in. She only wanted Grace to leave with nothing in the divorce settlement, not for someone to be killed. If her son badly injured someone, they'd be ruined. The moment Eleanor entered, she saw Tiffany lying on the floor, with Marcus thrashing wildly like a madman, her brow furrowed. But she didn't stop Marcus's brutal assault. Only when she saw Tiffany's condition worsening did she step forward to intervene. That's enough. Don't forget the main goal. With reminder, Marcus stopped. He glared fiercely at Tiffany. I'll deal with you when we get back home. Grace! Get out here now. Marcus's furious voice echoed throughout the entire hallway. I knew it was time for me to appear. Marcus. Hearing my voice, Marcus's gaze snapped towards me. Seeing me outside the room, he was momentarily stunned. He truly didn't know how to continue this scene of catching someone in the act. It wasn't just Marcus. Eleanor, who was beside him, also had a bewildered expression. But now, the arrow was on the string. It had to be shot, so was the first to speak. Grace, the designer bag has been bought. Don't be upset anymore. Let's go home and live a harmonious life together. no more fuss. I ignored Eleanor's words, my gaze fixed on Marcus, my voice trembling slightly. Marcus, was that your doing? Hearing my words, a flicker of guilt crossed Marcus's face. He opened his mouth, unsure what to say. Eleanor, seeing Marcus remain silent, quickly spoke up. Grace, it wasn't Marcus who did it. It was that man. That man. Marcus saved Tiffany. Hearing's voice, a fleeting joy flashed in my eyes. Marcus's mother was simply my best assistant. I immediately adjusted my emotions. Looking at Marcus with reddened eyes, my face filled with disappointment. Marcus, Tiffany bore a child for you. How could you treat her like this? You've shown her to little concern. What fault is there in her actions? Hearing my words, Marcus's face turned deathly pale. He opened his mouth, unsure what to say, and could only lower his head. Seeing him like this, Eleanor wished she could slap him twice. He's completely useless and only makes things worse. Truly a hopeless case. Eleanor's mind raced, trying to find a more suitable excuse to turn the tide, but before she could think of a reason, my trembling, disappointed voice reached them. Marcus, I'm truly disappointed in you. Let's get a divorce. After saying that, I left. Only after my figure had disappeared did the onlookers dare to speak. Looking at this situation, it seems the husband thought his wife cheated. But it turned out his other woman cheated. Shush! Lower your voice. Didn't you see how terrifying that man was? He might come over and hit you. What's wrong? Can't people talk about cheating now? But looking at this, do you think there's a chance the other woman's child isn't his? That sentence enlightened Marcus's mother. A gleam flashed in her eyes. That's right. Could it be that the child Tiffany gave birth to wasn't Marcus's son? If it truly wasn't, wouldn't the Hayes family become a sucker, raising someone else's child? After thinking of this, Marcus's mother walked over, take and go back to get a paternity test for Leo. Marcus understood his mother's meaning, so he dragged Tiffany out of the hotel with one hand. After I left the hotel, Ethan took me to the apartment he had prepared. Grace, get some good rest tonight. After the divorce tomorrow, you'll be free. Ethan, thank you for today. If it weren't for you, I truly wouldn't have known what to do. Ethan knew I wasn't in a good state, so he joked, if you're going to thank me, why not marry me then? You're getting a divorce anyway. Hearing his words, I chuckled. Would your family allow you to marry a divorced woman who is unable to have children? After speaking this aloud, I suddenly felt a lightness in my heart and mind. It seemed the best way to heal a wound was to rip it open. Ethan paused when he heard me say that, his expression filled with heartache. Grace, you'll be all right. Everything will be fine. You'll also get better and better. I smiled at him. Good night. Early the next morning, Ethan drove me to the county's office. As soon as we arrived, I saw Marcus standing outside, looking haggard, his eyes constantly scanning. When he saw me, a glimmer of light appeared in his exhausted eyes. He quickly walked over, his voice laced with a hint of pleading. Please, Grace, can we not get divorced? That woman Tiffany cheated. Leo isn't even my child. She and I don't have children together. We can still have our own. Please, can we not get divorced? I'm begging you. I brushed Marcus's hand away, my face devoid of emotion. Marcus, you truly sicken me. Do you think a broken mirror can ever be pieced back together to its original form? Grace, I can. I'll work hard to fix this. Will you give me a chance? I'm really begging you. When saw I wouldn't agree, he dropped to his knees, repeatedly bowing his head towards me. Immediately, all eyes turned to us. That woman is so heartless. Look at the state he's in. And she's not even reacting. Exactly. She probably found someone else and doesn't want him anymore. Hearing the voices around me, I snapped back to reality. Marcus acting like this. It must have been Eleanor who made him do it. She's truly gone to great lengths for my assets she brought into the marriage. However, I'm not the same person I used to be. After experiencing so much, do I still care about saving face or trivial things like that? I gave Marcus a cold glance. That's enough. If you overdo the act, you might actually end up this way permanently. Seeing that I was unmoved, Marcus also stood up from the ground. Is there really no chance left? No. From the moment you cheated, there was no future for us. You'd better just divorce me quickly. Maybe I can still give you some advantage. I don't know what Marcus conjured up in his head after hearing my words. This time, he was very agreeable. After we got the divorce papers, the warm sunlight hitting my body made me feel completely reborn. The shadows of the past finally dissipated. Seeing me leave, Marcus quickly rushed after me, just as he was about to say something. I cut him off. Marcus, let's not see each other again. Since that day, I never saw Marcus again. The next time I got a text message about Marcus, it was after I had my child. After and I divorced, he became entangled with Tiffany. He always felt that Tiffany had broken us up and constantly criticized her, especially after finding out Leo wasn't his child. He even took it out on the child. Marcus's parents, furthermore, turned a blind eye to his cruel actions. Back then, they were good to Leo because he carried the Hayes family's blood. Now there was simply no need. Instead, they might as well work hard to have a second child. Marcus criticized Leo from a young age, forcing Leo's inner defiance to emerge. On a warm, spring day, Marcus forever remained in the news, watching the report on the TV. I just felt a wave of sadness and reflection. Such a shrewd person, Marcus was ultimately manipulated by instigation. Even though Leo looked so much like him, he preferred to believe the clinical report. No wonder he met such a tragic end. Just as I was reflecting, a cheerful voice drifted over. "Honey, how about we name our child Lynn?" Translated, it means, "I, Ethan, will always love Grace." Looking at Ethan's goofy expression, I broke into a brilliant smile. See, throughout this long life, someone will eventually cross every barrier to love you.